tuned in to the Andrew Lawton Show.
They say a picture is worth 1,000 words. Not sure how many pictures a video is worth, but I do want you to take a look at this because what you will see is more insane than how I could ever imagine describing it for you.
Afternoon, sir.
Yes,
Purple
yes.
Park with the RCMP.
Yeah.
I can get you step out of the vehicle. I'm going to place you under arrest right now.
Yeah.
Right now, you're under arrest under the provincial health orders. Okay, so if you can just put your hands behind your back, face towards the vehicle. Okay, give me one hand here.
I'll get you to in the vehicle, okay?
Yep.
You.
The other hand. Do you have any weapons or anything on you, sir?
Weapon? No, no weapon. Only,
Anything on you that's
only
gonna
my
hurt
words.
me or anything like that?
Sorry?
Anything on you that's going to hurt me or anything like that?
No, no, anything will hurt you. Only my words, only my philosophy, only what I believe in.
Okay. All right, come on over this way. I'll explain a few things to you here right away.
In that video, People's Party of Canada leader Maxime Bernier arrested by the RCMP in rural Manitoba, not just given a ticket or a fine for violating some lockdown restriction, but as you can see, ordered out of his vehicle, frisked, handcuffed, put in the back of a police car, and then taken to jail where he stayed for the better part of Friday afternoon, late into the evening, was eventually released on bail. But as we'll talk about shortly, you can never get that time back, time that your liberty has been taken away, time you've been forced to spend behind bars. Maxime Bernier's been unapologetic about this. He says he has a right to stand up for his constitutional freedoms. Let's talk about that with him now. Maxime Bernier, People's Party of Canada leader, joins me on the line. Maxime, good to talk to you. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, Andrew.
Now, you're back home now, so they didn't detain you for too long, correct?
Yes, 8 hours. That was long enough.
And one thing that people would have seen there and heard there in the video that I thought was very clever and very important, which was that they asked you when they're doing the arrest if you had any weapons, and you said, "Only my words." Explain that.
Yeah, first of all, because it's not about COVID anymore. It's about political repression. As you know, just Thursday before I started my tour in Manitoba Friday morning, I was arrested Friday at 2:00 p.m. and released around 11 o'clock p.m. the same day. But it was all about, not the premier of Manitoba, Mr. Pallister, didn't want me to be there. And actually, he did a press conference the day before, Thursday, and he said if Maxime Bernier is coming here, his wallet will be affected. So he doesn't want a political opposition. And so, I did my goal to do meetings with people in Little Town in Manitoba. I started at 11 o'clock, a little town there, and I had a meeting outside in a park and with my partisan and the members of the People's Party of Canada. And my goal was, as a politician, to be ready for the next election. I'm campaigning all across the country, and as you know, the People's Party of Canada is the only party against these draconian lockdowns. So I spoke with them and I answered their questions. We were 15 there. And just after that event, the first one in the morning, Friday, the police came and gave me 2 tickets. And they said, if you do another rally, you have a chance to be arrested. So after that, I knew that I was taking a chance, and I called my lawyer. And he told me, Maxime, it's your constitutional rights to travel across the province and to speak. You're politicians, and you have to explain your platform. You have to gain support, and we understand that. So I decided to do the second event in a little village, Saint-Pierre-Joli, about 1,000 people, maybe an hour south of Winnipeg. And we did that rally in a park. And at that time, I think we were 8, including myself, outside, social distancing, and I was speaking to them. And actually, the COVID-19 health orders in Manitoba, they're not allowing a meeting outside more than 5 persons. So, and after that rally, police came, and you saw it in the video, and they arrested me and handcuffed me and treated me like a criminal. just because, you know, I was exercising, I was speaking my freedom of speech, my freedom of assembly. And actually, I was the only one. All the other person over there didn't have any tickets. They were not in jail. That was motivated by the premier of Alberta and to try to stop me to campaign. I was supposed to have a big rally, a real open to the public rally that Friday night. I was in jail, was not able to be there. And Saturday afternoon, I was supposed to have a big rally also in Winnipeg, open to the public. But the police released me around 11:30 p.m. Friday night. And they were very direct that I was not welcome and I must take the first flight back to Montreal. That's what I did early Saturday morning. So that's crazy that now a politician cannot speak in a province of our country. It's like being in China.
If your plan was to fight this and to take these tickets to court eventually and to stand up for your rights, why not go ahead with the Saturday rally? Why did you decide to basically go along with what the province wanted and go back home?
Yeah, first of all, because actually I will be back in Manitoba. I will campaign in Manitoba as soon as I will be able to do that. Second, I need to appeal in from the court. One of the conditions for me was to bail $100,000 to be sure for them, to be sure that I'll be in Manitoba July the 27th. And I will do that contestation in court, and we will win that for sure. So, and also the other risk for me was to be back in jail for more than 8 hours until the June 27. And I don't have time for that. We'll be in an electoral campaign maybe early this fall. So, and I had a plan to campaign all across the country. The risk was too high for me to be in jail for a longer time. And I had a full agenda during the summertime.
One interesting aspect of this is that they accused you of violating the gathering restrictions and also of violating the province's provincial quarantine. So if anyone goes from out of the province to Manitoba, they say they have to isolate for 14 days unless they're given an exemption. And I actually wanted to do some filming of a documentary I'm working on in Manitoba and specifically didn't because of that policy. Although we are supposedly in Canada guaranteed free movement between provinces. This has been a hallmark as old as Confederation. Was that something you were very aware of going into it, that, within provinces don't have the right to put up barriers?
Yeah, absolutely, yes, because the civil servant at the head of the Department of Health in Manitoba sent me a letter the day before saying that I'm not welcome, and if I'm going there, I need to quarantine, like you just said, for 15 days. And my answer was public to that. I tweeted just after that I have a constitutional rights to travel across this country, and I will be there. And that's why they arrest me. But that's unconstitutional, illegal, and all that is not based on science anymore. It's based on compliance. It's an authoritarian government in Manitoba. And I will fight that in court July 27th.
So let's talk about the politicians that are putting this forward. We have not seen in Ontario, where I live, anyone that I'm aware of offhand jailed for this. But in Alberta, which has Conservative Premier Jason Kenney, we've seen pastors behind bars. In Manitoba, which has a premier who positions himself as a Conservative, Brian Pallister, we have seen you jailed. Why is it that we're seeing these from Conservative governments that are traditionally supposed to be the most freedom-loving governments and the most freedom-loving politicians?
You're absolutely right about that. I hope I can have the answer of your questions. And if you look at in BC, it's an NDP government, and they were the freest province in all the country. I was there before, and I was able to eat in a restaurant inside without any draconian measures and being free to do what you want to do in a BC government, in an NDP government, in BC. So I really don't understand. And speaking about Alberta, I know personally Jason Kenney. I was sitting with him around the cabinet table when I was a conservative minister, when he was a minister. He was a real conservative at that time. Now I don't recognize him. I think all these premiers, and you can include the premiers of Quebec, Legault, they are following the establishment medical experts. And they don't want to have any other point of view. And they scared the population in the beginning. And actually in Quebec, as you know, Andrew, they spent more than $135 million last year on advertising on COVID-19. It was pure propaganda, more than every other provincial governments in this country. So with all that money that is spent, the fear, and I think they enjoy also their authoritarian powers. I really don't understand why it's supposed to be conservative government that are doing these lockdowns.
And it is also worth noting that right now we have Justin Trudeau overseas, elbow to elbow, shoulder to shoulder with all of these world leaders. But also, let's go back to last year. Justin Trudeau took a knee at a Black Lives Matter protest in Ottawa, which was an illegal protest. He took a knee there, surrounded by his own police officers. The RCMP, they didn't arrest him, but the RCMP in Manitoba arrests you, and not only arrests you by giving you a ticket, but actually handcuffed and put to jail. And the double standard is incredibly, incredibly stark here.
They don't like the opposition. They don't like what I'm saying. And it's why I said that, the only weapon is my words. I'm a politician and what I believe. And they don't like that because they're not following our constitution and they don't want that to be well known. They prefer to keep their authoritarian powers with that health or with these health orders. So I feel like not being in Canada, it's sad. It's sad that this is happening in 2021 in our country. And if you look around the world, like you just said, in US, it's all open. You can do the majority of the states are open, no more lockdowns. In other countries also, but here in Canada, we are one of the worst. We need to fight, and I don't understand that we don't have any opposition in provincial parliaments or legislatures, and also in Ottawa, the official opposition are not opposing that. They're not doing their job. We are in a crazy world.
Well, when Ontario MPP Randy Hillier was charged at Queen's Park, I believe it was, a few months ago, I had said that an opposition politician being charged for protesting the government is a story you'd expect to see in Belarus, in China, in Russia, but it's happening in Canada. They went one step further with you and actually put you in jail. Again, opposition politician jailed, not a headline we would expect to see in Canada. But you are right to point out that this is very political. The people that are prosecuted are people who protest against the government.
Absolutely, and they don't want us. We are dissident, and they don't want any dissident, and they will have to deal with it. And I'll be back in Manitoba. I'll be back on the road this week. It's too important. It's not about Maxime Bernier. It's not about the People's Party of Canada. It's about our ideas, our values, our freedom. And I hope that a lot of people will look at it twice. We are in Canada and we cannot take for granted our freedoms anymore. People must realize that and they must do the fight.
And I will certainly cover that when you are back in court. So thanks for coming on, Maxime Bernier, leader of the People's Party of Canada. Always a pleasure, Max.
Thank you, Andrew. Have a nice day.
Thanks for listening to The Andrew Lawton Show. Support the program by donating to True North at www.tnc.news.